Greetings, children. Welcome to my channel Inside Accountancy by Shakun. Today we'll be talking about Chapter 5 Admission of a Partner. Now, this is a very important chapter because an 8-mark question comes from this chapter, and the understanding of the concepts involved in this chapter is very important because of that reason in order to crack the 8-mark question. So the contents of this video are the adjustments required on admission of a partner, the treatment of various reserves and accumulated profits and losses that are there in the firm before the reconstitution, special reference to workmen compensation reserve and an example based on it. Now, whenever there is an admission of a partner, it basically leads to the reconstitution of the firm. So, when a new partner is admitted into the firm, there is a change in the partnership agreement, there is a change in the profit sharing ratio. It leads to the dissolution of the partnership, but not the dissolution of the partnership firm. Now, at the time of reconstitution of the firm, there are various issues which need to be addressed, such as we need to determine the new ratio when the new partner comes in, as well as the sacrificing ratio. Goodwill needs to be adjusted at the time of admission of a partner. Then the reserves and accumulated profits are to be adjusted. The assets and liabilities should be revalued and reassessed, and the capital may be adjusted in the new profit sharing ratio. I have already talked about the first two, that is determining the new ratio and sacrificing ratio, and all the cases of treatment of goodwill in my previous videos. For more details, you can click on the I button. Today we'll be talking about the treatment of reserves and various accumulated profits and losses. This topic has already been discussed in the previous chapter also, that is chapter 4, change in profit sharing ratio amongst the existing partners. The reserves and accumulated profits are always treated in the same manner, whether it is change in profit sharing ratio or admission or retirement or death. So the treatment of accumulated profits and reserves remains the same in case of all these kinds of reconstitution. So let's see how the reserves and accumulated profits and losses are treated. Any accumulated profits or losses which are there at the time of reconstitution of the firm, they are always transferred to partners' capital or current account depending upon the method of preparing partners' capital account. So at the time of change in profit sharing ratio, the reserves or accumulated profits and losses, they exist in the books of the firm. That means the firm must have created some kinds of reserves and must have appropriated some amounts in profits which are kept for future use. These are transferred to partners' capital account if the capitals are fluctuating, or they are transferred to partners' current account if the capitals are fixed. Now this transfer is made in their old profit sharing ratio because these reserves or these accumulated profits or undistributed profits and losses, they were present at the time of change in profit sharing ratio and they were earned before the reconstitution of the firm. So that is why they are always distributed in the old ratio. So what is the treatment of accumulated profits and reserves? All the accumulated profits and reserves have to be distributed between the partners in the old ratio. Since these are the old profits and losses, so they must be distributed in the old ratio. Now, what are the accumulated profits or which kind of accumulated profits and reserves might be there? Let's have a look at the balance sheet. I've written a list of the various reserves or the funds or the balances which might be given in a question. So all possibilities I've written here. The things which you can see on the liability side, that is general reserve, P&L account, workmen compensation reserve, which is prepared in order to bear the compensation which has to be paid to the workers in the event of any accident, etc. Investment fluctuation fund. Investment is always subject to a lot of fluctuations, so any loss arising due to fluctuations is borne by investment fluctuation fund. And employee provident fund, that is the money of the employees which is kept as a investment, or employee provident fund is basically an outside liability, employees money that is kept safe with us. So all the things that are mentioned on the liability side, they always have a CR balance, as you already know. And the things which are mentioned on the asset side, that is P&L account, goodwill. Which goodwill is this? This is basically the old goodwill, advertisement suspense or deferred revenue expenditures. All these have a DR balance. Now you must be noting that profit and loss account has been mentioned on both sides. See, P&L account can either have a credit balance or it can also have a debit balance. Depending upon the balance, it will be shown either on the asset side or on the liability side. Now, one thing that I've mentioned here, it was not supposed to be here, but purposely I've mentioned because I wanted to make you clear that employee provident fund is an outside liability. Since it is an outside liability, this is not the amount that has been appropriated from the profits. Since it is an outside liability, therefore this amount will not be transferred to partners capital or current account. Rest all the things that are mentioned here will be transferred except employee provident fund. This is a very common mistake made by majority of the students, but you need to understand that EPF is an outside liability and it is never transferred amongst the partners. Moving on. What would be the journal entry for the transfer of accumulated profits or accumulated losses? Now, all the things which were mentioned on the liability side, I told you they have a credit balance. When we want to write them off and distribute them amongst the partners, that means we need to debit them since we are going to write it off. Therefore, our journal entry would be all these accumulated profits and reserves, they have been debited. They had a credit balance, but now since we are going to write them off, they are debited and it is distributed amongst the partners in the old ratio. Similarly, all the things which were mentioned on the asset side, all these things have a DR balance. We are going to write them off. Therefore, they are credited and partners capital or current account is debited. Again, the distribution between the partners would be made in the old ratio. Why? Because all these are the old accumulated profits and reserves which were already earned by the firm before the reconstitution of the firm. Moving on. In this video, we are going to talk about workmen compensation reserve in detail because there are certain cases which are always attached with or certain adjustments which are always given in relation to workmen compensation reserve. So workmen compensation reserve, as I already told you, it is a reserve which is set aside or which is appropriated out of the firm's profits in order to meet the liability that may or may not arise on account of compensation to be paid to employees. So if there is an accident that happens in a factory, the workmen would have to be compensated. So that compensation can be taken out from workmen compensation reserve. See, reserves are always made on the basis of prudence principle that we know that in future some losses will arise. So we make provisions and reserves for the losses which may arise in future. So accidents may happen. So in order to cover up the losses, we make the reserves beforehand. That is why workmen compensation reserve is created. The claim may or may not arise. The liability may or may not arise. Accident may or may not happen. But the reserves are created. Now, there may be a possibility that the claim may be equal to the reserve, or it may be more than the reserve, or it may be lesser than the reserve. We'll just see the different treatments. So the first case is when there is no claim against workmen compensation reserve. That is, in the question, the reserve is given, but there is no liability attached to it. In that case, simply workmen compensation reserve will be distributed between the partners. As we just found out in the previous slide, I showed you the journal entry. Since there is no claim, it will simply be distributed in the old ratio. When there is claim on account of workmen compensation reserve, that means some kind of liability is there. In that case, we have to see there may be three possibilities. Either the claim will be equal to the reserve, or the claim will be lesser than the reserve, or the claim will be greater than the reserve. So the entries will be different in all the three cases. The first case is when the claim is equal to the reserve. So if we had a reserve of 18,000 and now we have a liability of 18,000, that means the whole of compensation reserve, the workmen compensation reserve, is used for meeting the liability or the claim for workmen compensation. So liabilities, as you always know, have a credit balance. Therefore, the claim for workmen compensation has been credited, and reserve, since we are writing it off, that's why it is debited. The second case would be when the claim is lesser than the workmen compensation reserve. For example, if the reserve is worth rupees 18,000 but the claim is only rupees 10,000, that means the liability is only of 10,000, the remaining 8,000 will be distributed between the partners. So workmen compensation reserve will be debited with the full amount, that is 18,000, to claim. The claim was 10,000 and the balance is distributed between the partners in their old ratio. The third case would be when the claim is greater than workmen compensation reserve. So again, I'll take an example. If the reserve is 18,000 but the claim is 20,000. So 18,000 can be easily covered up, but the remaining 2,000 will be transferred to revaluation account since it will be a profit. So this revaluation DR amount will be transferred between the partners in their old ratio. Whenever revaluation account appears in any of the journal entries, we have to write it off by transferring it to the partner's capital account. What is revaluation account? Revaluation account is an account which is prepared at the time of reconstitution of the firm to give effect to any kind of increase or decrease in assets or liabilities, or also to give effect to any kind of profit or loss that we are making at the time of reconstitution. Now let's take an example. A, B and C sharing profit and losses in the ratio of 4:3:2 admitted D as a partner for 1/5 share in the firm with effect from 1st of April 2020. An extract of the balance sheet as at 31st March 2020 is given below. You can see that the workmen compensation reserve has been given to you in the balance sheet on the liability side as 90,000. Show the accounting treatment under the following alternative cases when no information or claim is given. That means there is no claim for workmen compensation. When there is no claim, again it means the same. When claim or liability for workmen compensation is 45,000. When claim on account of workmen compensation or liability is 99,000, more than the compensation reserve. When claim on account of workmen compensation is 90,000, that is equal to the compensation reserve. So we will study about the journal entries in all these different cases one by one. So the case 1 is when no information or claim is given. That means the workmen compensation reserve, as you can see, was 90,000, but additional claim or liability is not given in the question. In this case, our journal entry would be, since there is no claim, that means the old reserve will be distributed in the old ratio. So 90,000 has been distributed in the old profit sharing ratio, which was given in the question as 4:3:2. So in the ratio of 4:3:2, we have distributed 90,000 and we have just written off our reserve. So reserve had a CR balance. We are debiting it because we are writing it off, and it is distributed amongst the partners in their old ratio. Why we have passed this entry? Because no claim was given. There was no information regarding claim. Moving on to the next case, when there is no claim. Again, see, previous case was when no information or claim is given. In this, it's written when there is no claim. So it's one and the same thing. So in this case also, our entry remains the same. The reserve is written off and it is distributed between the partners in their old ratio. The same entry is passed because both the cases are basically the same thing but a different way of saying it. Case 3, when claim on account of workmen compensation is 45,000. That means there is a liability of 45,000 which has to be paid to the workmen. In this case, what will be the journal entry? See, the workmen compensation reserve was 90,000 and the claim is lesser than the amount of reserve. So reserve is written off by debiting it. The claim is a liability, so we have credited 45,000 since this is a new liability that has been created. So 45,000 is credited and the difference, that is 45, remaining 45,000 is distributed between the partners ABC in their old profit sharing ratio. So the new ratio although was given in the question, but we are not actually going to use it because all the accumulated profits and reserves are always distributed in the old ratio. So here the claim was given, the claim was lesser, so claim has been credited and the balance has been distributed between the partners. Moving on to the case 4, when claim on account of workmen compensation is 99,000. So we have a liability of 99,000 but the reserve that we had was only of 90,000. So our journal entry would be, our reserve obviously is written off fully, but we are not going to distribute this reserve amongst the partners. Why? Because the claim on the credit side is how much? 99,000. So from this 99,000, 90,000 can be covered up from the reserve, but the remaining 9,000 is debited to revaluation account. So all the profits and losses are always distributed to revaluation account. So this 9,000 is transferred to revaluation account. This is a loss, and this loss is further written off between the partners in their profit sharing ratio. I told you before also, whenever revaluation account appears, we have to simply write it off between the partners. So this 9,000 has been divided between A, B and C in the ratio, old ratio, that is 4:3:2. Moving on, when a claim on account of workmen compensation is 90,000. So liability is also 90 and the reserve was also 90. That means the whole of the liability is covered up from the reserve. Nothing else is left to be distributed between the partners. So reserve is debited because we are writing it off, and the liability is credited 90. Both amounts are same. We do not have any balancing figure on the debit or credit side. So in this video, we have talked about adjustments required at the time when the new partner is admitted, the treatment of various accumulated profits and losses and the reserves that are there in the firm before the admission of a partner, how they are to be distributed between the old partners in their old ratio. We also talked about workmen compensation reserve and the various cases that are attached or they may be given in a question relating to workmen compensation reserve along with an example. I hope the concepts were clear to you. If you liked my content, please like my video, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button in case you want to get notified. Any queries? Send an email or leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being so patient.